Okay, we are opening the Zoom now. And we are also, I'm also recording this.
Very good.
Yes.
Recording. It's like a webcam, a dummy award webcam. Ja, ist ja ein bisschen spät, ne?
Das obere Bild ist ein bisschen spät, ne?
Sind wir denn schon auch auf, ja, oben links, das, ne?
Ja, die Nahaufnahme ist ein bisschen versetzt.
Und unten auch? Kann man da
Nee,
drauf
unten
machen?
ist
Webcam.
Unten ist der live.
Kann man
So
den
we are also live in YouTube
Yeah.
recording so people can see afterwards.
Die Kamera unten ist live. Also ist schnell.
Dia tuh kayaknya gue tahu deh.
Man kann mir jetzt da unten drauf drücken und sehen. Können wir die zum Main Bild machen?
Ini nih di sini.
Nicht wirklich, ne? Weil er war nicht immer auf den.
I think the timing is people still on the way back home. Hang on. So, hang on. Langsung aja. So shall we start or should we wait for more people?
Like you want. We have time. Hello,
We are not in a
Jakarta.
rush.
We have time.
Yes, we have also here Budi Darmawan is from Jogja.
Ah, okay.
Hello.
Yeah, we are hoping so we will showcase the place first. This is the exhibitions that di showing. So we are currently at the Mata Waktu. We are at the exhibition of Pentas Buku Foto. So this is our exhibition. So this part is the Indonesian publication. So we divide it into two segments. The first one is Indonesian publication from 2023 until 2024. It's an open call. And then right after the box, the aluminum box, the well-known box from the PBM, is all the dummy Photobook Dummy Award. All the 51 books there. Yeah,
Great.
and this is exhibit in Jakarta until 15th of February. So people can come over and have a look. And also we'll be planning to send the books to Bandung and to Yogyakarta.
Wow, big travel. And a guitar.
Road
so you
trip.
can Andy is playing a guitar.
Di-set dulu kali gue. Ada banyak yang belum di-set. Set lah.
Apa?
Ada yang di-set gitu. Buatin room.
Nggak
Oh,
ada.
udah. Lumayan lah nih.
Okay, so yeah, so this is the publication. We have from the submission we have how many books, Ari?
60.
Huh?
61.
61 books
61 book.
from the submission from Indonesia, and then we make selections from there until how many?
42.
42 books. So there's 42 books from Indonesia and 42 book and 51 books from the Photobook Dummy Award.
Great.
Cool.
Cool.
It's nice to see your space also.
Yeah. We have some people visiting the place, so some people will be enjoying directly from the exhibitions. Yeah,
Perfect.
perfect. That's some introduction from us. So how are you guys doing there? So
Yeah, very fine. Thank you for the invitation, Gunavan
yeah,
and team.
make some little introduction for yourself. Some haven't known you, maybe Fred and Marcus.
Okay.
Let's start.
My
Yeah.
name is Frederick Leslie, and together with my colleague Marcus, we are organizing or we are running the Photobook Museum, and we are running the Dummy Award. And we are very, very happy that this year we were able to send you the books and you can show them in Jakarta and on the following road tour in Bandung and Yogyakarta. And that's amazing. And I'm very happy that people can watch your books together with the Indonesian books. This was me, so I'm doing the organization and the management of the Dummy Award, and next to me is Marcus.
Yes. Hello, Jakarta. We're happy to join you there. Andy's already laughing. So I'm very happy that we can continue finally a long time relationship between Indonesian photo book community and the German one, because I started making the first workshop, I think in 2006, 2007, followed up by several follow-up workshops and making a master class of photo book together with Wolfgang Zoborn. And we are also happy that finally we met Andy and also Gunavan here, funding and building up the photo book museum here in 2013 and 14. So I'm very happy that this is becoming a long-time sustainable relationship. We love to follow your immense activities, Andy, Gunawan. You're the driving machines of the photo book, the ambassadors.
Thank you, Marco.
We do the same here, and we hope that in the next years, maybe show up in person, work on photo book culture, and do some nice parties. So let us, Fred is prepared to introduce you a little bit to our activities in the dummy world and photo book creation for young emerging photographers. Fred, it's your stage.
First of all, I'm just looking at the list of participants and I see Julia Bohle, and I would like to welcome Julia Bohle. She's one of the participants of this year's Dummy Award. So her book is to be shown somewhere behind you. It's a red one, Soltich. So Soltich, it's the one with the red cover. Wait. With a red person on top. Here's the camera somewhere.
Hello.
Hello, Julia. Nice to see you.
Hey, nice to see you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Carter call.
So your book must be there somewhere. Andy is looking for it. So very, very happy that you're here. So maybe you can also say something. It's interesting to see something, to get something from the participants part. So this is I think this basically what happens now is why we do this. The fact that your book, Julia, is to be seen in Jakarta and in Indonesia for the next coming months and been looked at, and it has already stations in Hong Kong. It was in There's another set in Santiago de Chile at the moment. So
Buenos Aires.
it's been to Buenos Aires, it's been to Sao Paulo, Barcelona, and so on. So this is a very important part. So I'm happy that you could join and see how your book travels. Basically, the Dummy Award is something we inherited from our good friend Dieter Neubert, who made the Photobook festival in Kassel. He started it, and a couple of years ago, after running it for 10 years, he went in retirement and asked us if we would like to continue. And of course, it was we didn't have to think twice, because we think that the Photo Book Museum and our vision in setting up photo book culture and helping voices in the photo book world to be heard fits perfectly with our mission as a photo book museum. And we're very happy that we have the Dummy Award, which is the international competition for best unpublished photo book dummies of the year. And the competition is open again also until the 18th of February. We are getting admissions in every day, so these are just the ones from this morning. And last year we had 420 short books sent in from 45 countries. We shortlisted a jury. We invited a jury last year, or every year in March, and international jury. I can show you, or you can see a lot of these things on our website. And they shortlisted 50 books, 51 books in this case, from the 420. And since then, these books have been going on tour. And maybe that's the most important part, because of course we are a Dummy Award, and in the end, there's a book that will be published. But the most important part is that these books get a showcase, get shown all over the world, travel, and get looked at by as much people as possible.
Yeah, maybe this is one point, maybe to top on Fred's informations. I think at the moment, and if we look back in the history of the dummy book, you guys, Andy and Gunawan, can remember like 15, 10 years ago, the idea for the participant was very much focused on finding a real publishing house. And this was the target. But these days it really changed. It changed because the printing options, the printing technique is very do-it-yourself style. You can find your audience in a different way. And if we look back on the tour trip we had in 2023 already, it was like 20 destinations, 20 stopovers, with around like 70,000 visitors and readers for over 1 year who looked at the book. And if you imagine in the classic way, you do a very independent publishing at a small house with maybe 200, 300 copies, and you think about how many reader you can create with it. So you are really on a different boat than if these chance to look at the dummies on these destinations, worldwide, international. There's more, maybe much more audience and readers you can find and promote and show your work and find, hopefully, people who share, and you can show your stories. So I think this is a little bit also changing the economy of the photo book. It makes it more independent. It gives a little bit responsibility and a chance back to the photographers themselves. So I think this is a big chance for the future. We never know how it will really develop, but I think the option for and to express yourself within photography and share your personal stories, your narratives with an international audience. I think this is the chance the Dummy Award finally is building a platform for. So let's see if this kind of network is going on, and maybe also to think about what is the future of it. Could it be an established reading room for all this. So we know each other. It is not easy to go to bookstores, to browse through internet pages and find something here and find something there. But here to have, even with the other Indonesian award, you have a chance to look at one moment or 1 hour or 2 hours, whatever, in a lot of stories. So this, I think, is the option. Work on that for the future, and let's see what we can make out of it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, that's interesting. I remember last time the photo book dummy is in Castle, right? So this is the PBM participation for the first time in with the dummy award, or
No, in fact, it's the we've been dealing with it since quite a couple of years. So we were the hosts of the jury award. We've been working together with Dieter, but since 2023, so this is our third or fourth year now. So this year is the third year. You have these also. We have the catalogs of the show, of this year's show. We send you a box. So this is for the visitors. Please distribute them, and that's quite also an important thing. So we are in charge since 2023, but we have been taking care of the award since a couple of years now. And we are changing a little bit. We're keeping very important things, the short list, the traveling, but as I said before, we did this catalog. So there's 8,000 copies of these each year by a different designer. And this year it was Ramon Pez who creates catalog for the winning books. So they are all in here. All the books you see there with QR codes. So you can look on our YouTube channel. All the books can be looked at, or the shortlisted. And since we are doing this since 2 years, we have already 100 books. Next year, 150. In 10 years, 1,000 or 500 books. So that's building up, like Marcus said, building up a platform, building up a database, building up a place for photo book dummies. And what I like about these books, they are unpublished, they are fresh, they are new. There's no, they are unfiltered. There's no publisher who went over it and said, you can do this, or you cannot do this, or you should do this, or we need another size. They are quite unfiltered, raw takes from the artist's brains, printed, put, of course, sometimes with the help of a designer, but there's no market, there's no gallerist, there's no museum curator who said how this has to be done. It's just straight and direct from the artist's brain.
yeah.
Julia, what do you think? What is the motivation for young photographers to participate, to make dummies, to make books? Is it okay to get you into the discussion?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you so much. No, it's really interesting to hear. And yeah, it's just like the dummy was just a very great opportunity to have the work like travel around the world and to be kind of a part of it. So yeah, that's why I'm also really happy to be like to listen to the rounds. And yeah, I think the photo book in general is just a very interesting medium to engage with your work, or to engage with your photographs in a very different way, in a way more intimate way. And I think it's like to just prepare, like to prepare a dummy, it's like very, like as you said, very unfiltered. Like you don't have the pressure to make a really like a published work, but it's way more experimental, which I think is very great to have no pressure. To just really put everything into the work, kind of in the dummy book. It's a very interesting medium to.
Oops.
Yeah. So and yeah, I think it's a really great way, and also the book is quite portable, so it's like easier to access and also to let it travel around the world and to have it shown in other countries before you may not have the opportunity to. And I think it's just a very great way as an artist to be able to show your work.
Yeah, you're right. As also Marcus made the accounts, you know, you can publish your book, 800 copies. Each copy is looked by two persons. That's 1,600 views. Sending them around, and I don't know, now there's not so much people, but normally or there is much more. So it's been looked at each location by 200 to 500 people. These books has been browsed through. So basically you get quite a lot of real analog views. And that's important. And what I hear also, I don't know if this happened in your case, but what I hear from a lot of shortlisted photo book artists, that they get feedback from all over the world. So I meet them and they say, yeah, I got an Instagram message from Japan. There was someone who related to me. And often also books just get published on the way because they have been shown, and there's publishers looking at them at the different events we are showing them. So that's just and as you said, it's portable. You know, that's you've seen the two boxes, our two metal boxes on the side. This is where they travel. So it's two aluminum boxes that travel the world, and there they are in the corner. And that's the beauty, that it's a pop-up in itself. It's a pop-up museum. It's the smallest form of a museum of a photo book museum that can travel.
Yes, that's one of the interesting part actually. It's like this is going traveling, traveling all around the world. So I think last time when it's still in Castle, how long is this method is ongoing?
Dieter has been, the traveling is quite long since its first time. The first year, I think it was 2 locations, 3 locations. It got more and more. They've been to China. He's been doing some. So Dieter has been really building up that thing. But of course, since we have a little bit more resources, we are bringing in our contacts. We are bringing in it's this year for the first time we've been going to. We've been sending the books to Latin America. They've been in Sao Paulo, in Buenos Aires, and now in Santiago. So Dieter started it, and this was something what we find very attractive, is that they travel, and it's an international. The good thing, it's an international call. There are also other traveling exhibitions. There's a German photo book award for published books. But what I like here is that it's international. It's not a national cause. It's unpublished. It's things you can only see here and maybe nowhere else. And it gives a chance, because I think also that these books are all dummies, prototypes. They have to be tested. It's always good to see how people in different countries react to them, and from where they bring stories. And also I've seen that you're doing it, and we encourage a lot the locations where the dummy award is shown. We encourage to do a public vote, so there's voting papers, and we are really interested in finding out what is each venue's favorite 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books, because at the end, the tour is one thing, the catalog is the other, the promotion we do. In the end, there's one of the books is published. This used to be only one book. Now we change it a little bit. We have 5 winners, and they are determined by the votes of the venues. So either it's a public vote in the best case, or a curator's vote, if there's no public vote that can be done. And these results, we take them into consideration to put up a 1 to 5. Exactly, Andy. We have the papers there. So these votes then in the end define the winners 1 to 5, and these 5 winners will not all be produced, but they get an extra. They are winners. They get 25% production grant by our sponsor, our printing house in Istanbul. So if you decide to print in Istanbul, which is a very good decision, you get 25% production. So he produces basically at no only the costs of the printing. So he doesn't earn money with these projects. So he decided to donate these 25% to each book. And from these 5 books, we, the Photobook Museum and our sponsor MAS, we choose one book that will be published. And these are the books. This is the book of last year, Tropical Trauma Misery Tour by Rafael Roncato. I think I put you a copy, or you took one with you, Gunavan, when you were here, or I think you have one. And then there's the Japanese book. This was 2022, Tofu Knife, and our winner from 2022. No, this was 20, 22, 23. 24 is still open. So Julia, chances are still good. We are just waiting for the results, and we will announce the winner in the next coming weeks. So this was about to come. And Shadow Over Shadow was our winner from also from Brazil. So what we like at it, that it's very international, very young, very fresh. And any questions?
Yeah, just a quick survey. How many book get published? The one is
In all the year, in all the times.
Mhm.
So every year, Dieter used to publish one book, and you can have all a look on our website. I'm just sharing my screen, so you see the Dummy Award website. You see it here, so you see all the winners. So 2010 was the first year when Dieter started it, and so you can basically go back. These are the winners from last year, the prize winners.
Sorry,
Shadow
maybe,
of
I
Shadow.
rephrase the questions. From the dummies that is submitted, do you have like a know that some of them get published by themselves or by others, not by the award?
Yeah, this happens. I would say I always keep an eye open on the market, and I find them. So sometimes we know about, sometimes we don't know about. 2 to 3 dummies get published every year.
A little.
And on average,
Sometimes more, sometimes less. Sometimes also publishers seeing these dummies around on one of the tour stops, and then while the tour is still running, they decide, okay, I want to publish this book like Julia Meinertsen, the handbook. So there is always kind of a catch up by some publishers. Also the reason we choose the 5 favorites, so that we do not get in trouble, as we sometimes had in the years before, that the book was already published or that there were different plans. So it makes the thing a little bit more easy for us to make a decision on the PBM Mass Prize. Maybe to a little bit to look at what is finally in the early years, we also trying to find books in the field which are kind of breaking some rules, are very interesting. And maybe here, for example, we have this book, Did You Know? Where's to show it? Yeah, here. So there was an interesting, that was the last Kassel-driven photo book dummy year. It is a book by a Belgian ladies photographers team. And Did You Know? Was really interesting book. It changed a little bit the way of documentary style. It is remembering the big Bhopal chemistry disaster. And Iris Janssen, she made it really like one exhibition finally made it. The book is the exhibition. So there is a perforation inside. There are flyers inside. And so you can cut out, you can just use the book and make an exhibition. So here it was so interesting to see that the book is not only a classic book you buy, you put it in your shelf. No, this is very much driving into a political activism. So buy the book and make an exhibition in somewhere in your city, in your neighborhood, or wherever. So this was a really outstanding book. And finally, all the books have the winner book have something special or introducing a kind of a new system, a new idea of bookmaking. And did you talk about the shadow?
No, I just showed it. You can-
Okay. And the 23 winner, for example, here the
22.
shadow.
22.
22. Yes, 22 winner. This Brazilian guy, he used the very classic Hollywood movie screen script making. So it is made here with some screws. The middle one is missing that you can hold it. And even the inside is made with text. So you put his own story here. So here we have a photo book between the movie, novel, and the photo book. So this was also a little bit like an unusual way to use the medium for your own ideas and give some inspiration.
Born during the pandemics because the photographer could not travel, so he went to the Library of Congress archive in the United States and got all these images that are copyright free, and he created his own film noir out of it. So every book has something special, and but as I said, or as we said, the published book is one part. It's an important part of the whole process. Much more important is what happens now is that these books, these shortlisted books, this variety of books is really shown to us and can travel.
And also, maybe this is also a next step where we will give some inspiration in this photo book culture is that we, for example, with Shadow Over Shadow, we used the room here next door, a pop-up exhibition. And regarding the Hollywood, the film noir style, we trying to display the dummy winner 22 from Vitor was his name, into like a movie lookalike installation. So we rebuilt it, a detective office based on the look of movies in Los Angeles. And we had a lot of visitors. And finally, also, we are here in Cologne, the capital of Carnival. So we also made yeah, I know that Fred was laughing about, but it was also made to make a party and try to mediate the idea of the book in different levels. So it is also to giving a tribute to the book in terms of how can we display and how can we push and how can we bring a dummy winner to the next level of audience. So this worked out quite well. Fred is still looking for an image of this. Maybe you find it, maybe not. So, but what is maybe a question from my maybe also to Andy and you, and I also saw that
Karen.
there are some old alumni. No? I saw
Karen is there.
Karen also, and Dika. He's also made the. Dika made the Indonesian book, which is also in the short list. No?
Ah,
Hello,
hi.
Marcus.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for participating in the Dummy 24 competition. And you made it into the people, I have to say, were very fascinated by the cover, the extraordinary cover jacket. You see it here on the screen. Maybe Julia doesn't know it. It is here exactly. Andy is showing it. So this was very outstanding, especially for European people. They were kind of very curious how is the packaging of an Indonesian book? One lady asked me, do they always pack it like this? I said, no, normally not. So it's an extra thing. There it is.
Yeah.
ADHA. Huh?
Atta.
Ada.
Atta.
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 So, but back to my question.
Das ist ja das Schlachten heißt Atta.
Yeah, I know. Maybe the question back. So, what is your impression for us to know about the Indonesian scene? Is there still, can we make it easier? Can we help something that we get more Indonesian dummies to the competition here in Europe? Or is it, what kind of terms is the shipping? Is it the coordination? Could something makes it easier for you guys?
Lu aja.
Yeah, so like right now we are showcasing the Indonesian and the Dummy Award next side by side is one of our way to introduce how people sees it from all around the world. How because I think for some they are still very what do you call it underexposed to these images, and they are wondering what's the interesting part of this. So this is interesting because they get to see what the preferences from the other places. So so that's why we also like to put the local and international, whatever it is. This year is the Dummy Award. Last year is the Hong Kong
Dummy Award.
Dummy Award, yeah.
Yeah.
Hong Kong Dummy Award. And so it is always interesting to get people to understand those two. And also we also introduce more about Photobook has not to be very complex. Like one of these books is interesting from Indonesia. You see this? This is a very basic like illustration style, but it is like for us it's like surveying. It's like for people to get into the there's another way of telling stories, not just text, and even the photograph, there's a lot of way of showing it. And one thing is obvious is like the designs part is definitely one of the curiosity from guests here. Or they realize that they can make like a tile from the swimming pool, yeah, or the Atha like Ari, there's the skin goat, yeah, and yeah, I think it's open up their eyes that these designs can enhance their images, but also they can also see the design that kills the images by having this reference all together in one place. So yeah, it's interesting for us. And also, and another thing, when like you say, what can you help us with is definitely the shipping. So the shipping from here to Europe is expensive. So we are thinking of having a way of pulling them and then sending over, but we'll see. But in this time, it's like we are putting these exhibitions to encourage people to make dummies, and especially after your explanations that some of the publication might get offered to get published, right? Even though they are not winning, even though it's like not the jury selections, but maybe it's the publisher selections. Maybe it fits them, right? So the interesting part is this when you showcase it all over the world is that it clicks somewhere. So it's just not preferred to one ideas of, okay, the good images have to be like this or like this, or the good story is like this. Because I remember once my experience during the first time in Europe feels like photojournalism is like is always underrated, but maybe for some places it will be, some people can relate to the struggle. So I think they can learn something from that. So I like the idea of this traveling books. Yeah. So yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, and let me just, I think also, I think we'll say for years and decades, I don't have to tell you, nah, like there was a domination, the ruling thing for it's coming from the Western part of the globe. Nah? So it is also, if you look, that you have a kind of sometimes we can also see it or discuss it also in the jury, nah? Or the shortlist jury. Nah? So how to let not the style of long years experienced bookmaking in Europe, for example, or in the US, dominate the idea. So this was maybe to give this feedback also to the other book, that we also have to learn from a European view that there is different styles, there's different traditions in making books, there's maybe something what we can learn to make it differently, as is, I will say, the German style is very pure, very, it's a long Bauhaus, it's not so much fun, it's more like being clear, precise. So also for us, and this is the nice thing with this dummy award, that you get these fresh, uncensored, freestyle books out of uh, some workshops or making directly here, and it's not filtered by a publisher or not dominated by something else. So it's very fresh and also very interesting. And I think from our point of view is also learning that it doesn't mean it only for Indonesian or for Asian style. No? It's also like that we had a lot of books from Latin America or when we went to Chile. So to see there is a different style, there is also a different tradition of bookmaking, and they're different from every country because it depends on the history of culture, of bookmaking, of tradition, bookshops, the whole economy, the whole world of printing books. And we could experience a little bit that, for example, also in Bangladesh, in Dhaka, there's totally different than the Japanese, while the Indian have some style. So it is, I think, maybe the dummy award for the future could be also a kind of a showcase experience, totally different kind of bookmaking styles, nah? And to change this, nah? So if Asian look at Latin American ones, Europeans look at this, and so the exchange maybe is also something what we need today, that we believe and trust, even in the times of Trump, that there is one global family, and maybe we cannot stop the dialogue. We want to listen to someone else. We want to know it. No, we don't have to hide it. We don't want to have any protection. No, exactly not. And culture maybe is the way. And here we have a big storytelling option. So that if we all free and open enough to look at all these different stories, and the audience is doing this, I think. And
I
big
agree.
option for the future.
Underline the this is a photo book dummies. That means that the relation, the power relation of the editors, of the publishers of this book is minimal. So
Yeah.
it's from the artist. So it's interesting to see how this is packaged, or they make the selections or sequence. I know some is still raw, some is already like developed, but I think the interesting part is that part, the explorations of the idea and the images and everything that is directly from the artist.
Yeah.
Cool. So should we get some questions?
Get back to you. I have one more thing to say, and this is maybe also when we started to take over this award, was how can we exactly help these shipping costs? Because I understand 36 euros participating is a lot. It's something we can, for instance, books that come from Ukraine, normally they send us an email before, and we can weave the fee. We have books from Iran because they are not into the IBAN system and they don't have PayPal, so there's no chance to pay. So often we can waive these taxes. But in the end, for us, the dummy award has to be, because it's always connected with a lot of costs. Sending books, receiving books, it has to be self funded. We don't earn a penny, but the big problem is the sending of the books, and it's become more and more expensive. So the idea of Mata Waktu, for instance, being a hub in Indonesia and collecting them and sending them, and because for us we can support. If you say, listen, I have 5 dummies here, or 6 or 10. Right, we can talk, and I can say, listen, send them, and I pay you the postage or so on, or we can get a sponsor for that, or ask the Goethe Institute, for instance, hey, we have a parcel that has to be sent to. So this is something I'm dreaming of, to have all over the world, to have hubs where photographers, artists can send their books to, so that it's not so expensive. Because we see, and it's a pity, because the German artists, who maybe has the biggest resources, they pay €3.99 if they want to send their book, while a book coming from Japan is 80 to 100 to 150 euros to send it in time. So this is something, this is in equality. The other part also, maybe this can happen. We were thinking of getting sponsored by DHL. This would be the best part, so we could do that for free, but we are still looking for the right contact with DHL.
I think they should spend us one plane, just the DHL dummy plane. So he's traveling.
And it collects them all over the world.
And then, like an
So
accent.
if someone knows someone who works with DHL, let us know. We are looking for a sponsor, logistics sponsor. But you're right, that's a problem. And Gunavan, if you as Mata Waktu want to do this and collect them at Mata Waktu, so you make your own open call and you say, you made now your selection of 20 books. We can also say, listen, you sent these 20 books, and I see there's the Habibi one. They look very interesting. I'd love to see them. So maybe, if not for this year, and it could be done, but then your show is down. But for next year, it would be nice to have your support. You collect these books for us, and then you send them, and we can help you pay these shipments or whatever.
Yeah,
I think it's a problem we can solve.
yes, definitely. That's one of the things that we are thinking. Hopefully, we can make it a reality for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So an open call a little bit earlier, and this is why we are opening. We had the same thing. We had something in Latin America, Dias de Maquetas, also a small event around dummies. So if they could serve as a hub in Latin America, you in Asia, because I think even it's cheaper for someone from Hong Kong to send to Indonesia than to send to Germany. Or is it the same price? I don't know. So maybe one can think of doing a small Asian hub.
Yeah.
So for next year.
Definitely the cheaper price because the distance, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we should open for a question. Someone would like to ask some question, maybe? Or no one? If someone want to jump in, this is like a informal discussion. So it's nice to have a opinion from all you guys. While waiting, so what's the jury perspective? What are the things that is what is the things that is becoming what's the jury look into the book, because you are one of the jury member for last year.
Of course, we are looking for, now books are being able to be produced in such high qualities, with all these print on demand and bookbinders and stuff. The quality of the dummies is very, very high. So you often have to be careful not to be blinded by this perfect production, but looking back on the real story, on what does it want to tell us. Seeing, for me, it's trying to look at the photography and seeing did this book dummy create the best possible stage for these images, or is it packed into a wrapping that doesn't fit? Also, I often also think, when in the jury, that our mission is, of course, to find the 50 most interesting books, or most remarkable. But I'm always having in mind that as a jury, we are putting up a show. We are putting up a showcase for the photo book. So I like the idea of um, thinking it as a curating an exhibition. So I would take a book because I like the format. I would take a book because I like the voice, or I like the topic. So it's about also putting together a show that shows the potentials of worldwide international photo book dummy production, and also the topics of the year, looking at these. So it's not so much, oh, this is the best produced book. It's where is the most interesting story, and where does someone has something to say, and which story has to be multiplied and told. And it's a hard job, because we know from 420 to cut it down to 50, and all of the participants put so much time and energy into it, that it's sometimes it's heartbreaking to reject them. But we think of really putting up, finding the most remarkable books, and putting up an exhibition that showcases the whole width of what is possible, or which ways can we tell stories.
And the selection of we really try to do our best to make the jury members very as diverse as we can make it. So for this year's jury, in a few weeks, we have Luis from Santiago, an old photo book expert. We have Lucia. She's here from the Rautenstrauch. You know her, Gunawan, Lucia Halder from the Rautenstrauch Jurist Museum. We have to make it shorter. There's a lot of different perspectives, from maybe festival makers, designers, publishers, printers, curators' view, that we, in the end, the jury feels as a collaboration team also, and to follow the general idea, to give an expression, and it's not like voting for the best. What is best? It's the best printed, the best designed, it's the best color, it's the best photography. No, it is more like to look at all these books and give a tribute to have them really in the show, what you now have in Jakarta, that it is showing a general impression also, what comes out. Because here, as we said before, here people can produce cheaper or more expensive, so it is hard to compare everything on different levels. So I think the core of the jury is to find out and make the 50 books, which is maybe the maximum for these travel boxes, to make it not too expensive, and also to make it visible and readable for an audience. If we would say we extend it to 100, then it's too much. If we go like the Al Dummy Award, just up to 15, it's a very strong selection. So we mix it up, all the experiences we had from the years of juries and dummy awards to make it on the best point, which is best delivery, best choice, great members of the jury, and then also extended the kind of favorite five at the end after the tour uh, to give an impression. So we're already also looking for all Jakarta people. Maybe give a vote, give a feedback. What's your favorite? And that we have an impression. What is what is your Indonesian point of view? So we're looking forward for that, Gunawan and Andy.
Yes, we will be submitting the vote soon.
As soon as possible. I see that there's a question: what makes a photography book iconic or timeless in your perspective? Let's try to give a short answer. For me, as I said, the book has to serve the photographs, and the book has to be the perfect stage for the photographs. So this is something you should have always in mind. And also, if you say iconic or timeless, one has to always think who will have a look at the book, and that it's something that is a book is has the potential to be intergenerational. Means, as Dayanita Singh, the famous Indian offset artist, said, a book is a dialogue with a stranger in the future. So have this in mind. What if you say, especially if you ask for iconic and timeless, what do you want to tell a stranger in the future? Have this in mind, and you'll make an iconic and timeless photo book.
But and maybe the thing is something will be timeless and iconic. It's very difficult to. It's not a decision you have to make when you start the project, when you start photographing. It's more like that a book like Robert Frank, The Americans, become a timeless, iconic masterpiece of photography. This was not in his mind when he started traveling to the US. So he was following his personal deep intention to make this photograph and bring it into a book. So my advice or my ideas, it's follow your spirit, follow what is the authenticity you have, what you want to see and what you want to. Don't follow so much already ways and roads which are already been walked through or been driven through. So it's more like to say, if you go really follow your interests, follow something you're crazy about, follow what you're, and if then is something what is not shown worldwide in 100 times, then maybe it has a chance to become iconic. Né? So I think it's very difficult to say. Né? Okay, maybe August Sander, the famous German, he said, okay, I make this huge. He was becoming timeless and iconic because he extended this people of the 20th century project into a massive project with hundreds of different maps and whatever. So, but for everyone today, it's like, look where the stories are. Put your camera, make photos, and then maybe follow. And what you're doing, guys, Andy, for that, Norma, great. Thank you for being so crazy active in making photo books, because this is the other way. There are a lot of hidden stories somewhere.
Yeah.
But to make a book, and this is also a timeless thing, is to keep it also as simple as it could be, nah? And to make also to make it readable, nah? So that the audience who understand. If you have a very high complex, very too complicated thing, then you maybe miss an audience you need to become iconic or timeless. So I think it's the art of making a good photo book to be as simple, but also to be as new and iconic as you can be. So this is what you teach in all these workshops, as I can see through social media, and I know that you are running the Guerra Gallery, whatever, is also like trusting an experience, looking at books and finding your way to make it into a photo book grammar and to learn a little bit how to put them together. Because the book, there is an end, so it's not unlimited. So even in terms of size and pages, so this is a great thing which makes a photo book also a kind of a very free, but also like a tough medium. So it's not, you have to cook it down. You have to make it as precise as possible, and work for the reader in the future. We don't know. So, but interesting question.
Ya, Anggara, menjawab pertanyaan lu nggak? Kalau lu mau Zoom, pertanyaan lanjutan silakan Anggara. Anggara is Bali.
Iya, Gunawan udah menjawab banget kok itu. Thank you banget ya.
Oke.
Anggara.
It
Thank you.
answers my question very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool. So this is like a discussion. So for others like would like to ask question or discuss, just feel free to open your camera and ask, shoot out.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, I like what when you say it's grammar, right? So this is one of the idea that we have these books in one place. It's like so people learn the other grammar, the other language. So it's through this reference, through this exploration, I think maybe they get some insights or something that they can pick up, and maybe they can enrich their language, their visual language. Yeah.
And it's always, you can do everything with your images, but still there's a grammar, there is a way of doing it right and doing it for the maximum readability, visibility. And it's about listening to the photographs. Is what do they want? Do they have to be big? Do they have to be small? Do they have to be, is it an intimate story? Is it a huge story? Is it, how does the story has to be told?
And the idea, maybe just an example. This is a little booklet. It's made like a little newspaper, and it's a project just to explain a little bit what makes things good. Here, the Uruguay-based photographer Federico Estol, he made a book, a fanzine, about shoe shiners in La Paz, in Bolivia. And so he started the project and he said, okay, maybe the way how he changed his strategy a little bit. What is he doing? He making a black and white documentary or color about the social life of shoe shiners. And he said, oh, maybe this is not the real way to do it. Nah? Fred is showing share already the screen.
No, I put the link into
okay. Please have a look.
chat.
And the great thing, what he did is that he said, okay, I changed also the form. And so I'm not going to make a real photo book. I am making a kind of a street magazine, a fanzine out of it. And then he also said, okay, what I do, I play a little game between fiction and non-fiction. So he took this a group of shoe shiners, and they were like reenacting as comic heroes, as Marvel comics. So he changed the idea, making the shoe shiners from the very low social level into something in a hero. So
Superheroes.
superheroes. Nah? And then he also made a graphic design workshop, like a comic thing. So graphic novel. So he was also like putting graphics inside. And the great thing is that in the end, this magazine was sold by the shoe shiners during they had it like a little show, a little boutique next to the shoe shining equipment. and they really love to see themselves in the end, not as really like thieves or drug addicted shoe shiners, very low level. No, they're becoming heroes, and to this change also a little bit the effect on the social structure of the shoe shiners, and now they're really like a little bit up in the social stairs, and they already were able to make a hip hop feature on a CD level, and we heard that they also exchange with other Latin American shoe shiners. So the great thing is to develop something what also has an effect um, on the people looking at it. So this is one, I think, a very nice example, which is also fun to read. And so this is this little small shoe shiner thing is somewhere in Latin America, and it's very interesting. So again, the simple things and to develop it and be free as much as you can. Don't forget about the readability, the grammar, as you said, Gunawan, how to make it really something which people understand and look through. And so this, I think, is also an important aspect of this bookmaking.
Yeah. So anyone else have some question?
So the Fred put the have a look. It's really nice example. If you think about all of these like grammar things, now how to which kind of language, in this case, a more graphic novel, fiction, non-fiction, and so to find the way how photography, freedom, and grammar and photo book design finds together, I think here's a very good example how it could work.
Yeah, I remember last time there's the pigs. You remember the pigs?
Yeah, from Carlos.
Carlos, he intentionally put it in between the newsstand about the like he designed it like a Newsweek, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And also like the pigeon, remember the pigeon? Oh yeah, that's the pig. Yeah. Yeah, I think some of them is like strike-ons, like the contents and the designs fits together. So it's definitely enhancing the story.
For sure, there's always so many different ways of to develop a book. There's never one solution, but I think also it's not only that a lot of fun. Andy will also confirm it is so funny and it's so great to create and develop out of a photographic body a book. And there's always a lot of ways to make it. You can go this direction here. And I love that it is always about dialogue. And it's not like this is a little bit our credo that we don't say designers are the heroes of saying this is the good one, this is the bad thing. It's more like in a very creative way of dialogue to find together the way. It is also this workshop way. And I think it's most important and also very great things about this photo book thing. It's not a one person in your own room thing decision. So it is about dialogue, it's about communication, it's about feedback. So it's a full system. And I think because there are no rules, there are no guidebooks, there are no it has not been taught in universities how to make a photo book. So we have the full freedom also creating the way of making it. Andy will say so. And then if you get into the flow and you experience it, and everyone can give a comment on idea to it, this is maybe a really nice thing. For sure, you can also sit, concentrate at home and make it, for sure. But I think these options are the great thing. And we don't have a real grammar for this. If you look in literature, for sure, there is this poetic, you would say, you make a novel, you make a fiction, you short stories, and a poem. So there is already a kind of a structure, a matrix, how to make it. No? But I think the photo book matrix has to be done in the future. Maybe Andy, you should think about that. You already did something, or we, and Wolfgang is also a master. So we also want to work maybe for the future to give some input. It's never a Bible, but it could be like a guiding line and an inspiration to open your mind and find solutions alone or in a collaboration.
So, anyone have questions? Maybe I just point some. Budi, Mas Budi, ada pertanyaan Mas Budi? Atau anyone? If you are having trouble with the language, I can help translate so you can. Jadi bisa langsung ngomong bahasa Indonesia aja, ntar saya bantu terjemahin. Oh, di sini we also have Dika here, the
Yeah.
for Adha. Maybe you
Maybe
have.
Tika can tell us a little bit about making the.
Yeah. Maybe Dika want to have some introductions about the book.
Hey.
Hello everyone. First of all,
Hi.
thank you so much for Photobook Museum, W World, and Mata Waktu also very. My name is Dika, so I'm just surprised, because I don't know the real agenda for the year for the W World travel. So I'm so excited, I'm so surprised and grateful that the W World come to Indonesia, Jakarta, for the last stop. So I made this book again. I'm the creator for Photobook of Ataha. So I made the book again. So it's like I don't know. I'm so happy to participating for the W World 24.
Great.
So
Maybe a little bit about your books, Dika.
Yes. Ataha Photobook is tell about so many any perspective about this tradition. So this is the tradition about the sacrifice animal in a religious way. In Samawis, it's not by Samawis religion. One of the ritual still do this if it's Muslim, is Islam. In Indonesia, it's one of the tradition in Indonesia that in I think it, and then I think it's much so in a different place uh, uh, in another island in Indonesia also it's all about the region in under way in this animal get by a boat with the island philosophy about the symbol symbol and this tradition is before the first human Adam it's it's a tradition ancient it's so ancient I think it's so ancient tradition that we did by Adam also the story about the Abraham and then until now is the release until now. So in this uh, this photography and you can relate or can be yeah. So that's the and the design because it is that's requires so basically
Yeah.
really it's really,
We slice up.
Slice. Just like how we
always
slice the meat,
really,
the animal, and then we make it.
Ja, dit is nog de website.
We repeat because this tradition is repeated every year. So, and then we found something that is not about one frame.
so we can own 2 frame, 3 frame, or frame just and and family, so then only the starting and then uh, and then it's very important. So that's what can
Yeah, I think the video for those who want to see is Marcus have paste it in the comments so you can have a look at the full videos.
Yeah, we still recommend, né? So
Yeah.
the Photobook Museum runs the YouTube channel with all the
Yeah, anyone want to comment
100.
or want to have some questions?
It was very, very hard to understand
bit of
you
poor-
sound-wise, but your book was very convincing when we got it, due to this design. And for me, I lived in Istanbul for a while, and I'm often in Muslim countries. It was an amazing visual way how to deal with it, and the what happened and the combinations that happen, and the way of being part of the process and looking at these half pictures when it is not in sync worked very, very well. And the format was a very good idea, and it was a very fitting design decision for the topic. Congratulations.
Yes. Is there already some interest in getting it really published in Indonesia? Was there some feedbacks?
Anything Dika, ada yang nawarin nggak mau terbitin? Yeah, I think still on self-publish.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes it needs a little bit time, no? So
And
it's never.
because the book itself, you need to sacrifice one goat
Yeah.
for the cover.
If you go in the original shape, no? Okay, good.
Good.
Anything else?
So maybe to save us some shipping costs, because we would love to keep one copy for us for the collection, and one copy you get it back. Maybe you can, Gunavan, you can give him the copy after the road tour. You don't have to send that back.
Cool.
And we keep the other one, which is in
One in Chile.
which is in Santiago now, will come back to Cologne, and the other one stays in Jakarta.
That's a
So
good
we don't
idea.
have to send it back.
Don't send this copy back.
Yeah. It started here and it's stopped here.
Exactly, it's delivered back. Very good.
Okay. Any questions? Any more questions? Of the topics, how is the scene in the photo books in Germany or in Europe? What's the preferences now there? what's the
In terms of subjects or in styles or
in terms maybe subject first?
subject? I think as you see, as the world gets a little bit shaky, maybe not from an Indonesian, there's always a bit of shaky, fluty perspective, but I think also the last years now with we are very much involved in some conflicts which are maybe our relationship to the Palestine-Israel conflict or whatever. So I feel there's a lot of people going back into their personal family histories. So this is something I can see, something here. Now to ask for ourselves as a maybe looking back in the mid of the last century, during the Nazi time and fascism, so that there's a lot of books busy with, oh, my grandfather, where was he in the Second World War? What did he do? What came out of it? And I just had a very interesting project, which is also coming in this Dummy Award. Was a guy who found a big box of letters, love letters from his grandfather to his grandmother, and he was in the Ukraine front in 1942 and 43, had really a hard time. And so he found like 800 love letters. So, and he trying to make an idea what was the life of my grandparents, and how did they fall in love? How could they survive? How was they get in trouble about the war and all the things. So this is one tendency. I feel that history is kind of important, looking back for um, in your own personal history. So,
But
and what is
also
your impression,
my
Fred?
impression, it's getting better, but I'm teaching quite a lot in Dortmund. I teach photo books, and in Hanover, and so I have a lot to do with. I do photo books with my students, and after the pandemics, and it's still going on. We have a lot of very personal projects. So looking at your own mental landscape, looking at your, as Marcus said, looking at your past, but looking also at feelings, relationships. And for a while, I was missing a little bit this impetus or this way of going out to the world and having a look at the world. So it was often an inward view than an outward view. But this is changing now because, of course, the pandemic for every one of us, and especially photographers, was a good opportunity or a good time to look inside. And now I hope that the students don't forget to look outside and to look at the world also. So this is something I feel from if we look at published books, it's hard to say because there's no, it's not that there's German books and French books, and of course there's always some topics. It's a little bit looking at technology is one thing I see more and more. So how do we deal with all these imageries, dealing with artificial intelligence? There will be, I think, a lot of books coming out of that. Playing with, you have one also in the selection already, the New Farmers is a very good example of this. We've just got, for instance, we got a book by Karl de Keyser, the old Magnum photographer, Belgium. He made a book completely. Ah, yeah, this one exactly, and the swimming pool also is a artificial intelligence book. So we will find out also a lot of ways on how this new way of producing images, how this will be inside a book, or how it will find its way inside into the books. That's something. Then I think the trend is still continuing. That of course there's the big publishing houses that do mag or the now still Steidl, Mag, Hatjekans, Phaidon, Thames and Hudson. They do, of course, the blockbuster themes that have to that for the high print runs they have to be very popular, or they have to reach a lot of audience. But of course, there's this myriad of small publishing houses um, that do small print runs, very special interest stories. So it's very diversified, I think, between the big publishing houses and the small independent. So I have the feeling that the stories photographers are producing, they have more and more, each story gets a chance in being published somehow. And that's a good that's something we like. I give you the question back. How
Yeah.
is the publishing scene going on in Indonesia, in the region?
So in Indonesia, I think the photo book is more to the indie. So it's like people self-publish themselves because the printing for the book is quite expensive. So it will not be for like long a big quantity will be like a little bit hard for people to invest. So people goes for the indie, so self-published or digital print. And for the teams, I think small some of them is exploring themselves, like you say. But it's interesting is because that in the eastern part or Indonesia is we don't have this culture of a diary. So they use right now it's like they're exploring photography as a diary. So it's interesting.
Okay, yeah.
They becoming open up using this and letting people know about their families or how vulnerable they are. Or this is interesting because in Eastern culture, having this vulnerability exposed to the public is a little bit hard to express. But I think they find some ways using photograph because it's symbolic. I think yeah, and they can do it themselves. And yeah, I think one of the interesting part is that one. The other is like still, of course, journalism. There's still a lot of journalism, definitely. For developing country, I think that's one way to resist to the power. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
I think that's two teams still big. One interesting is like subculture also making a lot of new books like the skateboard or making zine. So it's upcoming. So it's in on the rise. Yeah. I think we want to encourage people to explore themselves to this. So these three teams usually are what we see from the submission currently.
Yeah, look, but it would be so nice to see these books.
Yeah.
So next year we need them because they
Yeah.
also, and I get it, because this diary thing is also something, during Corona it was diary, diary, diary. Interesting, but it's a way to digest a lot of things, also changes, and also showing this vulnerability. Also, photography as therapy is also a form of looking at yourself and having a subjective, objective view on yourself.
Kind of brilliant.
Yeah, and this one, push to enjoy.
Yeah, this one is the skateboard.
Ah,
Oh. By the way, how is Buku boy? Is he still active with his motorbike photo book selling?
that's
Boy,
skateboarding in
And-
Indonesia.
wow.
Yeah, Buku Boy is still running.
And there's always a kind of Merapi exploding or flooding. So maybe there's also like a subject here and how to cover any kind of make it visible the climate change. No? Well, how is it changing step by step the condition of life and humans?
Mm. Talking about the climate, one is interesting. This is Pesara. Pesara is like what do you call it? Tombstone.
Ah,
But he's tackling the climate change of the flooding by showcasing the tombstone. I think it's global issue, local content.
okay.
Oh, this is a
Interesting.
cool idea.
So it's like he is talking about this climate change, but using these images from the cemetery
Yeah.
that flooded, and then this. So this I think interesting because it gets to the people that is the commoners, because it's affect them directly,
Yeah.
the stories, but at the same time it it tackles the global issue about this uh global warming. Yeah, so definitely this kind of books is interesting, and I think more and more will be coming from this point of view.
Yeah.
That's also like a nice subject for a part of the collection at the Mata Waktu Foundation or even in the Photobook Museum. Nah? So if you think, okay, how do photographers cover this issue? Nah? So coming from a very classic, now what we had in the workshop, nah? From what was this with Aimi, who did the flooding project? Wolfgang made it. Was also in the Dummy Award a few years ago. Forgot his name. Maybe Tufika can remember, or Andy. This was a green book. Let me see here. Then.
Oh, not flooding. I think it's
Tsunami.
Is that cave? Is that cave or not?
Markus.
Yang bikin goa Bang Ari? Bukan ya?
Bukan. Kalau gua
Ah,
itu
it was called Requiem.
oh,
Requiem. Requiem sih.
Requiem.
Requiem sih.
Agus Susanto.
Bukan.
No.
Yes, Andy. Right.
Ya, Agus Susanto benar.
Yeah, that's about the, but that's not
Tsunami.
about
I
tsunami.
think
The
tsunami.
tsunami. That's tsunami. Yeah.
It was a tsunami. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's in the Requiem. Wrong pronunciation. Hell. Yeah.
Maybe one last chance for any questions from the audience.
Who else is around? Karen.
Karen.
Karen,
Else?
statement.
Muss nicht.
But was this right, Karen?
Yeah, he left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen now is in London, nearby
Yeah,
you.
I heard. Yeah. She working now, learning or make a PhD or something.
Okay. Anyone? Mas
Last
Budi?
chance.
Mas
Budi
Budi?
kali ya. Ini dari Budi from Jogja.
Barangkali Mas Budi mau bertanya.
Budi.
Ya. Dari mana Malang di Indonesia?
Jika Juli ya.
Makassar dan juga Kane.
Siapa?
Juga Kane.
Mana? Udah nggak ada. Yeah, I think no one has more questions. Maybe some closing statement from you. Closing statement.
Closing statement. Okay, number one, we are so grateful that you are hosting the Dummy Award and that it happened. And I think it's something that we should continue the next years in all different ways. And for us, Jakarta being on our map now and a photo book hub is, I think, is well deserved, and it's a good match. And we're looking forward to the next round and staying in contact, and a lot of Indonesian photo books.
We want to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keren. Yo.
We'd like to see, and everyone who's there, get your eye.
One eye.
One eye.
You have an eye on your T-shirt, Andy.
Yeah, make my T-shirt. Yeah, we need more T-shirts also. The black one is nice.
So take your catalogs, everyone who's here who didn't pass by yet.
All the old fellows.
Have a look at the books, and thank you for taking them on the road tour. Send us pictures, please. That's important.
Definitely.
We will do, and keep fingers crossed that we get still a lot of more books and they are not stopped in customs. And
Yeah.
thank you very much for that nice conversation. Have a nice evening, Jakarta.
One very last question. It's not but also you going to Bandung and Jogja and make the setting, or you just send the boxes?
We send the boxes and they help us put it on the display. So it's their way of showcasing it.
Okay, good.
So
Perfect.
we'll definitely send you some pictures.
Yes, very good.
Send us some pictures, social media. I think everyone, it has to be known.
And definitely we'll send you some voting and
Yeah.
some ones from our side. So
Perfect. And pictures also from the opening I need something today because I'd like to make a newsletter. So
I kept
follow the Dummy Award on Instagram, follow via Matavaktu, have a look at the Photobook Museum and scroll our website. There's a lot, all the dummies can be looked at, catalog can be downloaded now, so use it as a resource.
yes,
And looking forward to get pictures.
definitely. So I think
With the Indonesian German Photobook community connection, we come over next time and with the Dummy Award.
Exactly. Thank you everyone for listening.
Greetings to all the old guys from the workshops and and thank you, Julia, for staying here for us 1.5 hours.
Thank you, Julia.
Thank you for the talk.
So give a shake.
And I close this with one word that I like from Germany. Feierabend.
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 Yeah, this is the international Feierabend.
Feierabend.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
1, 2, 3.
Yo ngerokok yuk langsung banget.